Okay, hey, comic book junkies. Man, this must seem like what the heck? I had to do this at the very last minute. I got a dental appointment today, and I got to go to work right after that. I got to leave town, and also I had to get the dishes done. And I painted last night, but I had to do some touch ups. So man, I had to scramble to get this. I wanted to do this before I left. I've actually been wanting to do this video for a while. I hope DrVonChilla shows up. He asked me to do a Golden Age live show with Golden Age Western comics. And so I had to scramble. I pulled all these. There was a lot more. I didn't have time to get to them. I had to make a thumbnail. I had to do everything. And so, yeah, so this is just going to be Golden Age comics. So I don't even know if anyone's going to show up in here. So if you watch this on the replay, I hope you enjoy this. It's been a long time since I did just a Golden Age Western comic book haul. So I have a brand new killer, hard to get Golden Age book here. That's a Western I just got. I was going to show it first, but since no one's in the chat, let me just start showing this stuff here. And again, if I talk funny, I got surgery going on, bone grafting, and it's a mess. But anyways, this is Indian Chief Geronimo on the Warpath, an Avon comic. Avon did a lot of comics and Westerns, and they may have lasted one or two issues, but some of their covers are just incredibly well done. But the bad thing is a lot of their comics were printed on the cheapest pulp paper. So they're always so hard to find these in really high grade. I have one or two, but most of the time you get them, they're going to be really beat up. But yeah, see how beautiful that cover is, all the detail on it. So that's Avon, and I believe this is 1951. This is one of the ones I got lucky on. Ended up costing me like $20 on eBay. This is a Canadian white. So that means early on in the series, they were printed only in black and white with one color on the cover. Eventually, as the War Act was lifted, later in the series on these 3 Ace comics, then they're all in color. I have a few of these. These can be tough to get, but then once in a while, you'll find a seller that doesn't know what they got, and you can get it pretty cheap. This is one that's lasted over a couple collections that I've sold. I've sold 3 major big collections, kept a handful of books. I don't know how I kept this one. Really super low grade, but that's a Joe Simon and Jack Kirby cover. You can tell. Western Tales. This thing is like so low grade. I don't think I've ever read it yet, and I probably had this 10 years. One day. So if you're, maybe I'm not even live. There's nobody here watching, so that's how it goes. I like to do these impromptu, see who's around during the day. Probably a lot of people stayed up late watching the election. But moving on, another low grade copy, number 16, Black Cat Western. So this started out as Black Cat, went to Black Cat Western, then ended up going to Black Cat Mystery as the times changed in the industry. And I think Joe and Jack did a couple of these covers also. Maybe the interiors, I don't know. I saw Charlton 66 show this comic as a Charlton. So I wanted to see what I could find on eBay. Jumped on there, found these for $5 for both of these. These are the shoe store giveaways. Mass Trader. These technically are early Silver Age, 1959. They end up being $2 a piece. And you can find these same issues with different shoe store banners on them. So I don't know how that worked out, how they got that to happen. Hey, we got Heroes to Icons. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm just doing a really fast impromptu. This is dedicated to DrVonChilla. He wanted me to do some Golden Age Westerns. I tried to do it earlier, but I had a lot of chores to get out of the way. So, and I got to leave. to go to the dentist soon, so maybe I can get a half hour out of this. Just showing different Golden Age Western comics. Redskin, I believe this is by Magazine Enterprises. Yeah, this kind of title probably would never fly today on a comic book, but just a cool cover. This is number one. No, number two. I have number one. I don't think I was able to get it quick enough. Firehair Comics. Just always love that name, Firehair. She came out of Rangers Comics from Fiction House. Green dress, red hair. She was raised by Indians. Pretty cool. Fox Features. I believe this is the reprint. So there was a company called MS, I think it was MS Publishing. Later in the late gold, around 1954, they printed 11 reprints that you could send in $1 and choose which one you wanted. I could never be able to find the list on all the titles, but you can tell the reprints because it has no cover price on it. And the first page is, excuse me, the first page is an ad, where in the original comic, the first page would be the first page of the story. But I see there is a price here, so this is not the reprint. But they have reprints. You got to be careful on this one. Kids home from school, Great Western. Thank man. What do they have, a day off today? It's election day, and they get to stay home. I hope they're not sick though. You got Firehair right there in Rangers Comics number 60 or 55, 1950. See if I can get this one. So if you're watching this on the replay, I'm showing just Golden Age Western books out of my collection. DrVonChilla had asked me if I could do a live show just showing Westerns. So I thought I could get this and do it before I go to work today. Another Avon, Jesse James Escapes the Death Trap. Like I said, on these Avons, they didn't last very long. This one actually went to 9 issues, but each cover has a different title, Jesse James something or different. These were printed on the lowest material, so these are really tough to find in a high grade. Then we got a Schomburg cover, Thrilling Comics, another series that was started out as superhero. What's going on, Bubs? It started as superhero, and then it went to Western before it was canceled. Just a cool Schomburg cover there, though. Beautiful woman with a buckskin dress. Just showing Golden Age books, Bob. DrVonChilla asked me a couple weeks ago if I could do a live show like this. So I thought I'd try to get it and do it before I go to work today. Real life comics, not necessarily a Western, but wilderness more copy. True Adventure of the World's Greatest Heroes. And I believe that is a Schomburg also. Yep, it says Schomburg down here. Bob said, don't apologize for the glare, so I'm not going to. 2 days in school, 3 days digital learning. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know my wife's a school teacher, and she has a couple classes, all students. Ranger Sly, what's up? And then she has classes she go to the next end of the day are all digital. Another kind of frontiersy issue, Canada, the Mounties. Yeah, DrVonChilla had asked me to do a Golden Age Western haul only, so here it is. I'll have to do another one because I was living on a time I couldn't get everything out of the boxes. I got to get out of here at, in about 10 to 20 more or 15 more minutes. So I better go faster. So I just got that one in. Seller had 105 on it, offered him 60, came back with 80. These books are really tough. Early Charlton, I think it may be their first Western titles that they published. And it's a combination of space and Western. So a lot of collectors really want these. So I thought $80, I'll jump on it. I've been looking to get a nice price copy for a long time. but usually they hit around the 200 mark, and I did not want to pay that. So that's Space Western Comics number 45. This one, I was looking through the Gerber guide, which is a big mistake because it's like a Sears catalog. And every time I look through it, I got to get on eBay and see if I can find the books that are in there. Early, is it Hillman? I believe it is an early. Oh no, sorry, Leave Gleason. Funny book. Really tough, really hard to get these. This one's a really low grade, but it was cheap. Horse Feathers, kind of a comedy, funny Western book. Kind of weird. I know. I'm thinking that one's in here, Bubs. But I better go faster. I don't have a lot of time. So Crack Western number 77, 1952. Of course, this was a superhero comic again, and then became Western, I think around 109 or 109. That's 77. 69, I think it is. Another Prize. Oh, so that was Crack. No, I'm thinking of Prize Western. Prize, I think, became, I don't know, I'm confused. I think this became around 69. Was a superhero comic at first. I actually have number 10 of this series. Surprise Western, number 74. And of course, Simon and Kirby worked at this company. Indian Fighter, number 4. Magazine Enterprises, I believe. 1950s. Good girl cover. And then Western Fighters. This is a Hillman. Really big, oversized book. Desperado, another Hillman. No, I'm sorry, Liv Gleason. Really terrible Charles Burrow cover. And it's been noted by many Golden Age artists that he signs his name bigger than anybody ever. And there's a story in 10 Plague, the 10 Cent Plague, if you haven't read that, about how he's such a terrible artist. And he used to lock himself in his room when he'd go over to his friend's house when they would come over to draw, and he'd always lock himself away before he didn't want no one to see him drawing. Another Charles Burrow, Black Diamond Western, number 10. Hey, Comic Mag, what's going on, brother? This is a cool, and I think I sent Ranger Slide issue out of this series. Of course, there were a lot of Lone Ranger copies made by different companies. Since Lone Ranger was so popular, a lot of companies made up their own Lone Rangers. So you have Masked Ranger, Magazine Enterprises. These are starting to get pricey. At one point, you could pick these up for 15, 20 bucks. But now people are really wanting about $50 for these or more. St. John's, the Fighting Texan. So, around 1949, 1950, superheroes were losing their cachet, and all the companies started going Western. Simon and Kirby, Mainline, Bullseye, number 3, 1954. This was really got canceled because it got caught up in the hysteria of the comic book thing, and that was the scare that was going on. When Mainline really published stuff that would definitely fit into the code, no problem. Another Schomburg, Thrilling Comics. I believe Ranger Slide, I may have sent you one of these also. Yeah, I got to get out of here. I'm trying to do this, rushing around, getting a thumbnail ready, and then finding the books. I had to get the dishes done. I had finished painting and try to squeeze this in before I get out of here. This is a cool book. At one point, you couldn't get this for less than $75 for like a 2.0. And now, I'm sorry, 100. Now it's dropped down to around 75 where you can get a nice 3.0. And I always want to upgrade, but then I think, why am I going to spend all that money just to upgrade because of this piece right here? This one, expensive book. But I found a seller in England who had it for like about a third of what it goes for. I jumped on that one. And then, of course, Outlaws, LB Cole, Star Publications, original cover, but Fox feature reprints inside. I got another issue I just found on eBay for $15, and that'll be coming this week. Unfortunately, I won't be here when it arrives. And then another one, LB Cole, original cover, Fox reprints inside. And then a Marvel. This one's actually called Marvel Comics, see, right here? Not Atlas, for 1949. I think it was from Timely, it went to Marvel for maybe a year, then it went to Atlas, something like that. Excuse me. Western Crime Busters, 1952, number 10. Billy the Kid, Toby Press. So you can see there's all different companies here that are going Western in the early 50s. Another Avon, Jesse James. Like I said, these are hard to find in high grade. Avon, like Charlton, printed with the lowest paper they could get their hands on. And this was one of my favorites right here. Famous Western Bad Man. I think this is Magazine Enterprises. Or no, I think it's Youthful Magazine. The Dalton Boys, Blackjack Ketchum. Got to get hanged right there. And then Fox Features, Colossal Features Magazine. This one's a little bit pricey. I really had to wait a long time to find a decent one that I wanted to spend $20 and not $50 or $60 on. I think there's only 3 issues in this run, and they jump from different titles. Another Hillman, Dead End Western. Your typical spaghetti Western TV show where they're up in the rocks. We just watched Magnificent Seven the other day. What a great film. Heroes of the Wild Frontier. Another Avon. This one's Kit Carson. Fights Comanche Raiders. Look at that. Little cheesecake. Let me put these over here. So if you're just joining, I'm doing Golden Age Westerns. I'm trying to do as many as I can in like 20 minutes. I don't have a lot of time. Got to get on the road. I got to go to Alabama, and I got to go up to Texas. So there you go. Definitely not Golden Age. This is a Bronze Age Marvel comic. Western Gunfighters #2. Found this in a dollar bin. Tex Granger. September, #18. Fighting the Frontier. Sheriff Tex Granger. Bandits of the Badlands. Ooh, there's Nomad. What's going on? Nomad. What's going on, brother? Western Outlaws. And that's what we're showing. And Sheriffs. This is an Atlas comic. So how many of you out there are into Golden Age Westerns? Swift Arrow. Man, you can smell some of these books like right through the poly bag. Like that one. As soon as I picked it up. Oh, man. Tom Mix. I believe this was a radio show back in the early 50s, maybe late 40s. Black Diamond Western again. Leave Gleason. Leave or Lev. Love It Alone. Another Fox. Western Killers. Man. Here you go. Oh, no, I thought this was it, but it's not, Bob's. The Bad Man, Real Life Comics. The Bad Man. Now, Fawcett Western. How did that get in there? Golden Arrow. This is only 3-issue run, and then it has 1 issue. That's one of those mini comics. And man, those things are funny, those mini midget comics. Some people know what they have and they're not worth a lot. And then other people are asking $60 to $100. Number Avon, Wild Bill, Hickok. Australian, the Phantom Ranger. So again, another ripoff of the Lone Ranger. This is an Australian comic from the 50s. Kid Cowboy. Nice painted cover by Zip Davis. Yeah, so this video is dedicated to DrVonChilla. He'd asked me to do a Golden Age live show. And since he's not really here, I have more. I'll do another one. Straight arrow. Another straight arrow. And I think Fazetta does a couple covers in this run. Maybe one or two. I think it's number 3 that he does, for sure. Another straight arrow. Okay, I'll put a comment here. I got a few minutes left. I got to get out of here. Wish I didn't have to go to work. Okay, these I got out of the 50-cent bin. You can tell it has the hole punches in it. This was a newspaper strip. A lot of these I think are reprints of newspaper strips. Dell. Another one has hole punches. All these were out of the 50-cent bin. Another one with hole punches. Red Rider comics. And then we got another Red Rider. Does this one have hole punch? This one has hole punches in it. So the little kids used to punch holes in it and put it in their little binder, and they can carry their comics with them at school. Maybe that way they can hide them from the teacher. I don't know. This one was in the 50-cent bin, but it had a spine roll. No punch holes in it. So I pressed out the spine roll out of it. Christmas cover. Pretty cool. And then this is the last one on this. This is a Schomburg, number 68 from July somewhere. I don't know, July 52 or something. Nice Schomburg cover, exciting comics. Most of your moderns are Western. Cool. I'll have to tell you, in my opinion, Jonah Hex is the best Western comic ever written. And Weird Western Tales, Jonah Hex from the 70s. That's one of my all-time favorite Western series. Tony Zuniga art in there. Just killer stuff. So that's it. That's all I got. Thanks for joining me. If you watch this on the replay, thanks for joining. Just Western comics, and you'll have a good day. Like, is it Bob? Do you say read a comic? Read a comic. I took my whole short box with me. It's already in my semi. I'm headed to the dentist, and I'm headed out of town. So appreciate all you joining me. I really hope DrVonChilla sees this. If you guys are in contact with him, let him know that this video's up. That's all that I got. So Dynamite did a Lone Ranger run. You know, I have some Dell Lone Rangers, but I would love to get some of those early issues where he has the red shirt. And I've been looking at getting that right issue, one of those for the longest time, and I have not found one yet. So the reason why he changed from red to blue, someone told me I had to do it the TV show, that the red didn't even show up. So they decided just to go with blue because it was in black and white. If I'm wrong, just some cool stuff to. Anyways, I got to get out of here, guys. You guys, thanks a lot for joining me. Y'all have a good day.